Okay, so I'm pretty ill. I do apologize if I sound a bit off, but Epic has just dropped 3 new assets, and are they as good as last week's? Well, no, they're not. So the first one is this Gaia. There's a ton of things in here, so let's, rather than just scrolling through all of these, we could just quite simply just place them in. Now, there is no map, which is really irritating, so we're going to have to place a ton of these out. So we get 4 folders: actors, geometries, materials, and textures. It's pretty kind of basic, but every single actor is a blueprint. In fairness, they are heavily detailed assets. Most items are blueprints, which I find a bit odd. Like, why do I need a blueprint class for this? Like, let's have a good look at this. Why? It's not even an instant static mesh. It's just let's have a look. Static mesh components. See, I thought maybe because there were blueprints there'd be instances, but they're not. They're just the static mesh in a blueprint. And like, you can't even, like, is the lid separate? Don't look it. It's just one whole thing. Well, that's irritating. Also, I should say this was nearly 4 gigabytes. I think it was like 3.8, 3.9, which is quite chunky for an asset. Oh no, don't tell me. What? What is going on? Let's try and play from here. Oh no. What's going on? Why? Oh, days. Could you imagine paying like full whack for this and then the collision is just... Yeah. I mean, it's fixable, but it's going to be a right pain for every single asset, I imagine. Let's go... Oh, my God. This is wild. I don't think these were built in mind for playing in a game. I think these are for cinematics. So the argument is, I think if we just go to the page... Now, there are certain things on the FAB store which are purely for cinematics. So if we just have a quick look, here we go. Yeah, useful in cinematics. So these aren't really built for gameplay, which is fine. You have to break them all down in every single asset or completely build them again inside of the geometries, which don't have textures. And then you're going to have to apply each single texture. So these are just 2 assets that I've just pulled in. Obviously, they took quite a while to load. I don't think you should be putting these in your games. They are big, chunky files. But hey, there might be some of our cinematic friends out there who could be completely overjoyed by this. And hey, fair play to them. It's just not for me. Okay, so the next asset pack that we have kind of reminds me of one of my all-time favorite games, which is Jet Force Gemini. There is a big bug with this, but I kind of understand why. And that is purely because if you go to your library and you search in the sci-fi and it's 2 words, like with the hyphen between them, you have to, where is it? Create the project, which is going to be really, really irritating. So I have done that for you guys. So let's pull this one up. So I'm at the dreaded 45% shaded compile, and this has been taking about good 5-6 minutes so far. We'll wait and we'll see. That was at least 5 minutes to open. Please check map, demo, playground for player controlled vehicle examples. 1 control tank. Here we go. What's up with that axis on the camera? Can you see that? Is it just me? Oh my days. The assets are actually really decent. Like, I'm not being mean about the assets. Like, this bit here is really good. Look at that. That's awesome. But the controls, you're gonna have to rebuild these yourselves. It just feels so slow. Like, you're in a tank. I get it. It's a tank. It's meant to be slow, but it's a sci-fi tank. You got like thrusters underneath. I'm really, really not enjoying this at all. I'm being really harsh on these, and I don't mean to be harsh. I'm sure someone spent a lot of time. If I put something out like this, I'd be a bit offended. So I am sorry. They are really cool. Don't get me wrong. It's just the input doesn't feel that great to use. I'm not trying to offend anyone there. They just don't. It just doesn't feel very nice to move around. Even the camera axis is really strange. Like, I am rotating around this focal point in the center rather than moving it around like how I should do in the engine or in a game. It's very, very weird. And then it kind of like off centers. And then if I wanted to control a tank, I am not straight with that tank. I am wonky. The world looks wonky and it's just very odd. But my biggest issue is it's a create project. So you're going to have extra work to pull this out to even if you wanted to use them. Yeah, it's okay. And I'm really sorry about that. It's very much an okay. There's some things in here that are really nice. Like, I mean, the rocket launch, like that bit there, that's pretty sick. Moving on. I'm hoping this last one pulls us through. I really am. Let's go through it. We have a map. Thank God for that. All right, let's jump in. Loading, please. Everything else today has taken at least 10 minutes to open, which is never good. Never good. So I've been playing a ton of Red Dead Redemption 2 recently. I mean a ton, like a couple of hours. That's all I can really squeeze in at the moment. But it's just opened up. Let's have a first glance together. Ready? Okay. I might be tempted to pull in some lighting just because I think default lighting is going to look a bit naff, but we're going to press play. It kind of feels like Westworld when you see like a sci-fi character in here. But let's have a proper look. Alt S. Come on, give it to me. Full screen. We're going for full screen, baby. All right, okay. Get away. Pop-ups. All right, so first question is... Oh. Sick. Is this a mine? Not that I can see a damn thing in there, but that's kind of cool that we got this kind of... What is it? It's 2 modular rocks. See, this is what I want from Epic every week, is a good asset pack like this. Am I going to make a Western game anytime soon? No, but it's in the library ready to be used. Like, this is wicked. This is really good. Now, are these flushed out? It's really freaking hard to tell. That would be a real shame if they're not flushed. All right, we're going to have to put some lighting in here, guys. Like, this is just... Let me just drag a light in. And we're just going to... It's a box. Hey, it's a box that we... 1 second. How does that work? They are just like... You know, they're for show. They're not actually functional. How hard is it to cut a hole to put a door in there? It's a box. So we've got all of these mountains, which is pretty sweet. Or at least cut a hole for the door and let us get inside. I mean, these are just... 1 second. These are blueprints. There's a chance. All right, there's some promise, because why on earth would there be a ton of blueprints for just a static mesh? Let's try and go in. Where's the door? Why is it so dark in here? We're going to call our friend Ultra Dynamic Sky in. We're going to get rid of all the lighting in here, because the lighting's just really hard. I think it's the posts. Not that I've read the manuals, but each blueprint's got entrance. Entrance gate type 1. Gates away. So I was wrong in thinking these were static meshes somehow. I'm clicking every button to see what would trigger it to open. All right, this is getting interesting. So, I didn't realize this. If you click it, you have got all these modular parts that you can completely control with it. Obviously, you have to be a bit careful with this. But we've got height control, switch house frame type, switch roof type, default front wall, enable balcony. Sick. That is really cool. Window type for seeds. We'll change the window type. Entrance gate type 1. But it's still just a box without a door that you can walk through. You go to a village like this, you're going to want to go inside them. The good news is the assets will be there. So if we just jump into here and we go to meshes, everything is here. If we just go to a static mesh kind of like layout, we should find building parts here. My only concern is the walls. Are they going to have holes for the doors? Most likely not. The only problem is these doors here, as you can see. So you're gonna have to use some other resource packs, guys. There's so much to like about this. I really want to like this cave system in here. Like the fact that we can have all of this. Oh, mate, this is a full-on cave system. Let's slap this thing up. This bit is awesome. Is this all just... What is this? Come out. That's really nice. I understand that now. So you could just totally like... It's kind of weird, the alignment of the axis. You can kind of make your own little cave system. That's sick. So it's one of those weeks, guys. That's the only way I can sum it up. It's a normal FAB week. There you go. There's some assets in here to be used. Don't get me wrong. These mountains are pretty wicked. I love this little cave system here. We have a minecart model, which is just awesome. But I don't know. The create project sci-fi thing, not too keen on that. I'm never going to use it, really. This one, I mean, the modular buildings are cool, but at the same time, they're unusable. So this just feels like the two assets are really for like cinematic kind of things, and then the sci-fi one is just an interesting thing to mess about with, but there's not much else to do with it. It's a little bit of a disappointing ending to this video. I was really expecting something else, but then we got last week, which was pretty insane. So I'm not here to complain about free. Never will do. But I'm going to give you the rundown and let you know before you kind of install them and add them and open them up. So hopefully you find something useful out of this video. Again, it's an interesting one. I have been George64. I will see you soon. Goodbye.